Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming and more Nightreign. Today we're talking about the Undertaker, one of the two new Nightfarers for the game. To unlock the Undertaker, you simply defeat Gladius for the first time, which we probably all have done. Once that's done, you can speak with the Iron Menial in the Roundtable Hold, who tells you to visit the Small Jar Merchant, who's moved slightly because now we can enter the room behind him. You'll now encounter a bit of a surprise, which is a boss fight, which you're fine to lose. After that, you can progress. This is where we meet both the Undertaker and the Scholar, who will unlock as Nightfarers basically the moment you speak to them for the first time. Here's the initial information about the Undertaker, but we're going to go a lot more in depth very quickly. Her weapon preference is hammers. So naturally, she starts with one, the Undertaker's Hammer. With solid stats and an incredible Ash of War to start with, the Prayerful Strike. As you can see, she has a unique light attack moveset when you are one-handing, which is surprisingly quick. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4 hit combo. She benefits a lot from successive hits and specifically reaching that 4th hit, as we'll discuss. Prayerful Strike is a great Ash of War though for its solid damage, self-heal and stagger build-up, and is an incredible tool throughout the early part of the run. As far as our heavies go, we can do 2 hits in a sort of charge combo, which is solid, and of course you can two-hand the weapon for a different moveset, which is a lot more vertical and still pretty quick to be fair. In my opinion, if I'm going for chain attacks, I want to one-hand the weapon. If I'm going for like 1 or 2 hits before I have to roll out the way or something, then obviously two-hand for slightly more output. So here are all the hammers that we're going to find in the game, including the new Undertaker's Hammer. I'd like to highlight Spiked Club and Morning Star because they come with bleed, the War Pick with its slightly higher base attack, and the Monk's Flame Mace, which seems to often come with some kind of affinity, which is obviously useful. When it comes to the fact that she scales in regards to faith, something like the Envoy's Horn could be a great option, and there's fun potential with the Nox Slowing Hammer and Ring Finger, which I found in a run, with its Claw Flick for great stagger and range that it has. There is also the Scepter of the All-Knowing, which I have found once in a run. Using its special Ash of War, you make it so enemy magic and holy damage negation will be reduced for within the area, including the caster, so you're more vulnerable to it, so are they, and if you have magic or holy damage in the team, could be relevant. Obviously it comes with magic as its affinity. The best option you could go for though is of course Marika's Hammer, scaling with both strength and faith like this character and coming with the unique Gold Breaker, the classic Ash of War from Elden Ring, but then also the Power of the Queen. Your charge heavies have that Holy Shockwave. In regards to the hammer and the power stance moveset, it is not like amazing, it's not terrible, but I prefer her unique one-hand moveset or two-hand with the weapon specifically. I think this is better. However, there's plenty of perks in doing power stance moveset if you have passives that are going to enhance that, or specifically jump attacks, as you're going to hit with both of them at the same time, doing good damage and building up good stagger. So using the full light attack one-hand combo for fast successive hits, then doing jump attacks from then on for great damage and stagger build-up, I find is incredibly effective. So let's talk about her stats. The main things here is the A scaling in strength and faith, but obviously we have B scaling in vigor for health, and then C scaling in FP and stamina, which is definitely not ideal. Thankfully, the stamina issues are largely addressed by your character skill, as we'll show. But because her faith is solid with A scaling, this does mean seals will work as a good option. Whether you're casting incants offensively with your limited FP issue, or in particular with some of the benefits from her Relic lines that benefit you when you use self-buffing incants. So as we'll discuss, that could be sort of a route for you. Lastly, with her strength scaling to A grade, she will work great with any colossal weapon of relevance and colossal swords too. And her character skill helps you trade and get great value there, and with its unique evade, super good for a big heavy weapon. Jumping back to the sparring grounds, we have her 3 things. Her passive, Confluence. You can activate your ultimate art when allies or foes execute certain attacks. Most of the time, this is going to be when someone in your team uses their ultimate. You'll see that it sort of has a new outline in purple. What this means is for a brief period, you can cast your ultimate for free. So if you had your ult available, it'll still be available after you use this free one. But as you'll find, you might be like filling your ultimate gauge, but then can cast it for free because someone else cast theirs. This does work in combo with other Undertakers. So if there's 2 or 3 of them in the party casting their ults, that gives the other ones a free ult, but you do not provide a free ult to your allies unless you spend your real ultimate gauge as a limiter for that. Still, it's really good and really fun. The most complicated part of our kit is definitely Trance, right? So we put this on and now we have some new effects. You can see we have buffs at the top left to help us track this. What you get while this is on is faster base movement speed, like you're sprinting without cost. You have an improved dodge roll, which is now a dash, which is fantastic. And as I'm spending my stamina here, we're going to put the cloak on, the Trance, right at the last moment, and that's going to refill our stamina to full. So you're able to do like a full light attack combo. Let's just go crazy on it, spend all my stamina, and then just put it on to get back to full. Of course, I keep doing it on a critical, but you get the point. So it's satisfying and effective to go for the full light attack combo, all 4 hits, then put on the cloak and do it again, especially if you're getting relic benefits or passives in context for successive hits or that final hit. This also provides you slightly increased combo attack power, as we'll talk about, and toughness. But the timing of activating it is very free. In the middle of a combo, I can put it on. While I'm knocked down, I could put it on to get back up. Even in the middle of casting my ultimate, I can put it on, which is really cool. In regards to the attack combo thing, as I put it on, you're going to see buffs appear at the top left, and as I land chain attacks, we're going to see that that gets a new stack. These increase in, potency as shown on the buff icons. Also, the whole toughness thing helps with poise. So you see I'm kind of flinching as I get hit here. Well, let's now put the trance on as it hits me and show you the difference. I'm not flinching at all, which allows me to kind of brainlessly trade, encouraging certain relics and playstyles. There's also a bit of damage negation, it would appear, so it's just a fantastic skill on that. But it gets better. There is a different version of it, which will use your ultimate art gauge instead. You're basically doing a ultimate trance. So what you do to activate this is 2 options. You press and hold the activation of Trance. So you'll see that it takes a bit longer to actually activate, but it's very clearly different. We have a different VFX and there's that purple ring around the effect. It's lasting a lot longer as well. It's doing everything that, ultimately a trance would give me, but something incredible on top. While it is going, I am getting a default automatic Wilder-like deathblow dodge, but as you can see, that dodge is occurring just while the effect is going. It lasts ages and I get to dodge many attacks back to back. So it's an incredibly impactful tool and worth using instead of your ultimate when it comes to dangerous combos and big attacks in a boss fight. Do note as well, you can activate it early. So as you begin the charge up, you press R2 during it to use your ultimate art and sort of pop it quick. So here's the difference. I'm charging it and there it is. And then I start to charge it and pop R2 to pop it quicker. Pretty damn cool. So the trance lets you trade, encouraging the use of different relic lines like taking attacks improves attack power, health recovery through successive attacks, or have been hit recently, the Bloodborne rally mechanic. But there's also obviously potential with colossal weapons, especially with the improved evade for bigger, slower weapons too. But there's one more thing to talk about, the Loathsome Hex, which allows you to dash at insane ranges and also aerial, so I can target something in the air and go up to it, like say the transition phase of one of the new bosses, Balance. As you can see, it deals good damage and often interrupts the target. It tracks incredibly well, letting you get up in the air, and you can pull it from standstill when you're mid-combo, even in the middle of the air yourself. The only thing to worry about with this one is colliding with terrain, because that will obviously mean it doesn't hit the target. With some of her relic lines, you're also going to get big benefits from using this, but obviously it's a choice. Do you want the raw damage and movement of this skill? Or would you rather have that super buff with Trance? Be aware, you can cancel it early and keep some of your ult gauge so you can get your ult going again sooner, letting you turn it on and off based on where it's relevant. Next, let's talk about the Remembrance storyline. Initially, you just unlock the character as we described. Then, with the Undertaker, you defeat a Night Lord to get your first sort of shard and begin Chapter 3. Chapter 3 has you fight your way through the Nightfarers in the Round Table, until eventually you get to the chapel, where you've got the Raider and Iron Eye. When they're dealt with, you'll be able to touch this wall and consume the shadow, at which point a marker appears on your map to go meet with the Scholar in the gardens. With the completion of this, you get the leather monocle case, which is a special relic for the Undertaker, which is a solid starting one, as we'll discuss. Now we need another memory fragment to continue. In my experience, that was just defeat another Night Lord, but I have read in some guides that it'll happen after a few expeditions. But in my experience, go get a successful run done. Once you have a memory fragment found pop up, that's when you're ready to progress. So with that, you can start Chapter 5 back at the journal. Speak with the Duchess by the main table, then go back to the new chapel and interact with the altar. Once you've done that, you can go speak with the Iron Menial, as marked on your map, unlocking your next personal objective. So with that personal objective unlocked, you need a Great Hollow Shifting Earth event. So find one, cause one to trigger, maybe use the collector's signboard and purchase one. But using the Great Hollow Shifting Earth, you need to go into that and find and rescue the Scholar. Then die or win. So the objective, as usual, will be marked on your map. In this case, it's going to be found at the northwestern point for us in one of the new crystal castles. The Scholar was found in the library wing of that building, and there's many ways to enter this location and find your way into the library, as shown again by the marker on your map. In there, you find a large room with a huge rock crystal chandelier thing just hanging there. You want to climb up on top of it, then climb up to the rafters above it. Then heading towards the marker again, which is on the east side of the rafters, go through the hole in the wall, through the short corridor, leading to the room with a crystal trapped scholar. Interact with him and you get the scholar's primal core item. And if you speak with him again, he'll say it's fine now that you've got the core. That's it. So you can end the run or complete it, whatever you want to do. After that, you'll be returning to the round table. Head to the market that's now updated with the scholar found in the chapel. He'll give you the night-hued glass item and then the bundled paper item. With that, the chapter's complete, and as you exit the Remembrance, this is when you receive the Undertaker's chalice item, which as you can see, is a chalice, so you got a green, yellow, and then universal slot for the chalice. Pretty solid. The final chapter we care about is chapter 6. To do this, you now need to go kill Hjolster. That's the last Night Lord of the original game. So you do that as the Undertaker, and as you kill him, you'll receive this item, the dismembered finger. But you can mess this up, so please listen to this part carefully. After you kill Hjolster, you'll have to go over to this ashen round table and interact with the body that's there, under normal circumstances. But in this case, we first need to drop that finger item next to the body. So you can see that finger is in our inventory at the bottom left. So you go stand near the body, but don't interact with it. Not until you're ready to leave. First, you discard the dismembered finger as you see in this footage. And to confirm that you've successfully done it, the Undertaker says this line about how this will do. After that, you can then safely interact with the body to end this event. This will then, end the game, credits, whatever. You return to the round table hold properly. And as you do, you'll earn the Remembrance skin and the glass necklace relic, which is a very good relic indeed. I've worded that very carefully because you can do this wrong. As many people are finding with this Remembrance storyline, a lot of people are killing Hjolster, getting the finger, and then not dropping it and interacting with the body. Having to go back, kill Hjolster again, and then actually drop the finger the second time around. So I'm saying this very carefully to try to prevent you from making that mistake. So yeah, quick guide to the Remembrance storyline for Undertaker. Next, let's talk about relics and the specific ones for her. For the Undertaker, we have the leather monocle case, which provides you with physical attacks boosted while assist effect from incantation is active for self. Isn't that the worst line you've ever read in your life? I'll explain it in a sec. We've also got extended spell duration and physical attack up +2. Pretty solid. Why is this a good relic? What it means is that your physical attacks are going to be boosted while something's happening. What that is an incantation for yourself. So classic examples are something like Golden Vow, which gives you, defenses and damage buff. You got Flame Grant Me Strength. Anything that gives you a buff will work for this concept for its duration. This also seems to work with your weapon buffs because this is also technically a buff. So there's lots of potential, many kinds of buffing self incantations that will work for this concept. This is why extended spell duration is relevant and nice to have on this relic as well. Spells just means magical cast, like yes, an incantation, yes, a sorcery. So yeah, it extends how long these self buffs last, which in turn extends how long you enjoy that physical attack boost. So it's relevant. This encourages you then to find a seal during the run for a self buff. But obviously there's some RNG there because you gotta find the seal, but it is doable regularly. Just something to think about if you're gonna use this relic. Next we have the glass necklace, which is very good. Activating Ultimate Art increases attack power, so that's fantastic. Then successive attacks boost attack power and Ultimate Art auto charge +3. So you get your ultimate faster, you get an extra boost to attack power through successive attacks, and your ultimate gives you an attack buff after use. Absolutely incredible. Let's look at all the things that are possible for her specifically. You may find these on RNG relics. So we've seen the activating Ultimate Art gives you attack power buff. Contact with allies restores their HP while Ultimate Art is activated. So if you dash through your allies with your ultimate, you give them a health restore, pretty interesting. Attack power increased by landing the final blow of a chain attack, so that's the 4th hit of the light attack combo, that kind of thing. Physical attacks boosted while assist effect from incantation is active for self, so while you've used a seal incant buff that buffs yourself, as we just showed. Improved dexterity, reduced vigor and faith. Improved mind and faith, reduced strength. And finally, executing art readies character skill. So use your ultimate, get your character skill. You get to use the trance, then your ultimate, and then retrance. Lots of good potential here, but my favorites are activating Ultimate Art will increase attack power. Attack power increased by landing the final blow of a chain attack. And if you are going to go for a seal, then yeah, physical attacks boosted while you got a self buff is solid. So you're going to get one from the first Remembrance like story setup, which is nice, but be aware after you defeat the first new boss, that's Balance, you'll update the stock with the small jar Bazaar. We'll get a Scholar option and an Undertaker option. This is the Undertaker one. Attack power increased by landing the final blow of a chain attack, and strength and faith. That's pretty fantastic. So the initial setup that I recommend to you, that you'll be able to get within your first like couple of runs with the Undertaker, is the first Remembrance Relic. So your goal is to find a seal during the run to self-buff, the one that we can buy from the small jar Bazaar once we defeated the Balance, for the attack power off at the end of the chain attack combo, and the strength and faith. Finally, one of the best relics we originally had in the shop anyway, the one that provides partial HP restoration upon post-damage attacks, vigor, and poise. Meaning you can trade super well with this character, especially while Trance is active, or Super Trance, and you're getting the increased health and poise, which is relevant for that too. This would be the standard opening relic setup for the Undertaker, in my opinion, until you get more access to the new relics that exist in the update. So on that note, that will be the Glass Necklace, which is a green slot, which I would recommend if you're going to go for the Colossal Weapon route, or if you don't want to do the whole seal self-buff benefit thing, honestly it'll be better in that slot. But as it is a green slot, you'll need 3 green relics as an option, or maybe you'd replace one of the 2 green slots in the basic urn. On that note, what might you find that would be good for this character? I think taking attacks improves your attack power for the classic 15% damage buff for the duration is going to be very relevant for the trading playstyle with Trance. Improves stance breaking when two-handing or wielding 2 armaments based on what you're doing, Colossal Weapon or Power Stance. Of course, the improved hammer attack power is a great one. The ultimate art auto charge, so that you're able to use that more often. And alternatively, if you are going to go for a Colossal Weapon focus, you'd want to lean into stagger benefits, maybe less about chain hits and successive hits, right? So something like Dormant Power helps discover Colossal Weapons or Colossal Swords. That would be important if that's the playstyle you're aiming for, making it more likely to get it every run. Passives to think about mid-run that you'll be finding depends on what you're going for. Are you going for a big weapon, Colossal Sword? Are you going for Hammer and Seal? Or Power Stance hammers? Then stance breaking while using 2-hand or wielding 2 armaments? Attack power when 2-hand or wielding 2 armaments? Are you going successive attacks with a hammer? Or are you going more single heavy hit blows, jump attack spam? If we're going to go successive hits, then we can lean into that via damage negation, health restore, or increased damage. There's 3 or 4 focuses that you can really go for, and you just kind of invest in that and hope you find what you're looking for. It's always going to be good to increase your health, stamina, and health and stamina recovery, as well as improve physical attack power and any stance breaking of relevance. By the way, if you are interested in the skins, it's my understanding that you unlock the first set of skins after defeating the Balance, and then you get the second set of skins after defeating the Dreadlord. So yeah, now you know. In conclusion, this is a really good character with quite a lot of interesting mechanics, way more than I expected in regards to Trance, Super Trance, the way that you can activate it mid-flow, and the surprising amount of benefits from it. Making hammers good is a hell of an achievement, and I like that you've got like 3 or 4 playstyles you consider. She'll be really good with a big weapon, that's for sure, if you hardcore lean into that, but leaning into successive attacks for the hammer, maybe going into incantations, is pretty fun. So yeah, fantastic addition to the game. I hope this was a useful guide. If it was, do drop a like, and until next time, thanks for watching.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.